Hi everyone, my name is Jess Sickler. I currently teach TV and film here at the high school. This session is titled Google Collaborate Part 1. Today we're going to be looking at Google Forms and how to use this cloud-based application in your classroom. So what does it mean to be cloud-based? Cloud computing or cloud-based means that you store and you can access data and programs over the internet instead of on your computer's hard drive. It means that you can access any of these applications anywhere at any time as long as you have an internet connection. Google Forms and all Google Collaboration apps are perfect digital learning options and are available for students at any time of the day from home, at school, and in the community. This is a perfect example for future-ready Gear 7, use of space and time. There are 4 main Google apps that we can use for collaboration. In this session, we're going to be focusing on Google Forms. Google Forms is the perfect tool to create surveys, quizzes, and tests. Not only are they easy to create, but they also store all of the data collected within the document. So, how do we begin? The first thing that you're going to want to do is sign in to your Google account. Always make sure you sign into the correct one that you're intending to make the form for. If you do sign in from home, sometimes your personal account will also be on there. Now we're going to simply search for Google Forms. Once you enter Google Forms, you will see options for templates. There is a blank, a customer feedback or survey, an assessment, a worksheet, a blank quiz, and even an exit ticket. These templates are perfect for beginner users to Google Forms. The first thing you need to do is decide the purpose of this sheet. Will you use it for informational purposes, for a survey, or for an assessment? For this session, I will use it as an assessment. You will need to adjust the settings for this form in order for the answers to be recorded and, more importantly, to be graded. After you open up settings, you will have a couple more options for this form. You can collect email addresses, you can restrict the form to LBPS users, you can also limit users from submitting the form multiple times. In this section, you can also allow the respondent to edit after it has been submitted, but I do not suggest this as it becomes complicated for the students. You can also show the respondents a progress bar so they know how much of the form is left to complete, and also shuffle the questions order. Under the Quizzes tab, you will need to click this tab in order for the content to be graded as a quiz. Make sure you hit Save. After you have adjusted your settings, the next step is to title your form and write a description. It can be a description of content they are viewing or directions for a test. On the right side of the screen is our toolbar. The toolbar has options to add a question, add title and description, add an image, add a video, or add a section. Because we used a blank template for our first form, there is a question here that can be edited. We're going to click on it and then make our first question simply name. We make this our first question because Google will only collect email addresses and not names. We also make this a required question so students must answer it before they could submit the form. Now we're going to go ahead and add a second question by clicking the Add Question button on our toolbar. After the question is added, we can edit what we want it to say. We can then go ahead and choose what type of answer we would like: short answer, paragraph, multiple choice, checkboxes, drop-down, file, upload, etc. For this question, I'm going to choose it to be a short answer. Next, I want you to draw your attention to the bottom of the question. You're going to click Answer key, and this will allow you to change the point value of the question and also add a correct answer. However, Google Forms will not be able to correctly grade a short answer or a paragraph answer. These should be graded by the teacher at the duration of the test. If you choose Google Forms to grade these types of answers, the students will have to type it exactly how you are inputting it into the answer key. Now we're going to add another question to our assessment. Go ahead and click Add Question and type what you would like it to be. For this question, I'm going to keep the answer options as checkboxes. Students can now choose one or multiple correct answers. We then want to go to our answer key and give it a point value. After the point value, we then want to select the correct answers. For this type of question, Google will grade the answers based upon what you input into the answer key. You also have the option to physically shuffle the responses. The next thing I want to show you is how to add a title and description section. We're going to go back to our toolbar, and under Add Question, there is an option to add title and description. This is useful if you're changing topics within your form. The next thing we'll discuss is how to put an image in a Google form. Again, we will go to our toolbar and this time select Add Image. You will have several options of ways to obtain an image. You can upload, you can take a snapshot, you can use a URL, you can go through your Google Photos, you could check your Google Drive, or you can use the search option and look through Google Images. The next thing we'll talk about is how to use video within a Google form. I use video clips almost every day in my classroom. I think they are super beneficial for students to be able to see what I am talking about, but I also use them as a study tool and in some cases as a remediation of skills previously taught. I use Google Forms to create what I call follow-up worksheets. They use both video and images. After a lesson is taught, I post these worksheets to my Google Classroom so that students can access them anytime, anywhere, and take another look at the material on their own time and at their own pace. So how do you insert a video? The first thing you do is go to the toolbar and select Add Video. You have two options. You could search a topic or copy and paste an exact YouTube URL. For this session, I will search for a video. After it is inserted, you can align and/or enlarge the video. Here is a recent example of use in my classroom. Last week we covered copyright and fair use. It was a brief teacher lecture followed by a class discussion about what is and what is not copyright infringement. After our discussion had ended, I asked students to open up the form I had posted to their Google Classroom. They got a chance to view clips from YouTube and decide based on what they had learned in the lesson if the clip was or was not fair use. I asked for all explanations in a short answer format. After students had completed the work, I then wanted to correct and discuss student responses. There are several ways to look at data collected on a Google form. You can look at the class as a whole, look at individual student responses, or what I use most, export to a Google Sheet, an application very similar to Microsoft Excel. Once exported to Google Sheets, you can see all individual student data side by side and the responses they chose for each question. This sheet will always be saved in your Google Drive. The next thing I will discuss in today's session is having a student load a file to the form. I don't suggest using this as there is a file size limit in place. If you were to use it, I would only suggest having students load small files including Word documents and small size photographs. But if you would like to use this feature, here's how it is done. First, you will need to go to your toolbar and add a question. Once the question is added, go to select a different response type. Click on File Upload. Once you have clicked Continue, you could then edit what you want the question or the statement to say. You can restrict the type of files that you will accept. You can also restrict the file to a size limit. The last item we will discuss is how to collaborate and how to edit the way your form looks. Let's take a look at the top of the page where there are another set of tools. The Color Palette tool will allow us to change the color or theme of our form. The Preview tool will allow us to see what our form looks like to others when they receive it. The Send button will allow us several ways to send this form, by email, by copying and pasting the exact URL, or by embedding it into a web page. The tool labeled More allows us to add collaborators and also get a link to share on either our Google Classroom, website, or email as well. So what are the pros of using this app? Using Google Forms will definitely save you time grading. It will take some time and some practice to load all of your class materials, but overall, who wouldn't want to give an assessment and have it graded before the class is even over? You can embed different types of media in your form, including video and images, which allows students to see the content that is being covered. The only issue with the use of video is that YouTube is not accessible to students in district, but at home or in the community, students will be able to view the video within your form. You can collaborate with others. This is a really nice option and allows teachers of the same content to collaborate on tests and quizzes so that they can be uniformed in the department. All data is saved and sorted, which makes it easy for teacher review. This can be super beneficial when it comes time for SGO data analysis and collection. Finally, all forms can always be edited by the owner as long as they are not deleted from your Google Drive. So what are the cons? It is very hard for students to begin a form and then finish it in another class period. This involves students copying the exact URL to their specific form. If this URL is lost, the student will never be able to access the form again. My second issue is that there are not enough options to customize. I would love to be able to bold and highlight and even bullet and number things within my form. That concludes this session of Google Collaborate Part 1. We hope to see you in Google Collaborate Part 2, where we go over Google Docs.